of the 8th of March 2022. Apologies, and we have Murray McLean is. Oh, Murray's with us. Oh, awesome. How's the arm?
So.
Oh.
It's I told you that it's inflamed nerve in my.
Murray, you're cutting in and out.
Sorry?
You're cutting in and out.
Oh, well, we'll do our best. I'm listening.
Okay. Sorry, your microphone was crackly.
Oh, well.
That was a bit strange.
Yep.
But you feel a little bit better?
Yep. You can't kill dead weeds, noxious weeds.
I thought you were a rare orchid. Anyway. Okay, so there are no apologies then. Gary for lateness, but that's all right. Items not on the agenda. Oh yes, we do. We have the recommendation from the CE panel for your consideration, and when we introduce that, Ariana will put that up on the board. So that's the one late item. Do I have a mover for that? Murray, do I have a seconder?
Seconder. Yep.
Thank you, John. All those in favour, please say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. So we'll go. We've got 2.1 statement of proposal for licensed commercial operators, and go to the resolution. So who's handling that one? We've got Derek is handling that.
Good morning.
Good morning, Derek. Welcome.
Thank you. How is everybody? Remotely challenged. Okay. Thank you, Council. This is there's quite a few papers in here. So there's the top is the brief. The second one is the comprehensive report. And that steps through in terms of where we've gotten to in this process, gives you all the background, talks about the weighted tenders, etc. And then attachment B is the statement of proposal, which is basically how we plan to progress with the introduction of the new policy, which is also part of attachment B. And attachment C is our proposed communications plan, basically. So this has been around for a while, so I'm pretty sure that most of the council or the council is familiar with it. Is there anything that is unclear at this stage?
Is there anything that anybody wants to raise? There being none, then do I have a mover?
I'll move it, Sandra.
That was John. Do I have a seconder?
I'm happy to move it.
Thank you, Murray. So
I'll just make a comment. I think we're going to get some very, very interesting reactions to this, but it's going to be an ongoing process that we have to get through.
So, yeah, I agree with you, Murray, but I think it's the feedback that will help to slowly reshape it into a form that maybe works.
I think we're going down a very necessary process.
Yeah, no, thank you. So if there's no further comment, then I'll put the resolution. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Against? Carried. Thank you very much, Derek. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Council. Much appreciated.
So now we move on to the annual plan and all the matters that we've canvassed a couple of times at least. And I'll invite Kate to raise any matters that she wants to in regard to this paper, 2.2.
Thank you. I do have two replacement attachments to table. One being the rating examples, which is attachment D on page 103 of the agenda, and also I've got a graphic design version of the consultation document to run through with you so you can get a feel for how that's looking.
Right, okay.
I'm just going to share my screen. Okay, can everybody see that now?
Yep. Yeah.
Lovely. So this is just an updated version of the rating examples. Hopefully Hayden's online if anybody has any particular questions about any of the changes. But they've just done a review. I think the main change was to the Thames Community Board area to try and reflect some of the recent changes in the market. And there's some things we can't change because it's based on how things are rated, and that's using the quotable value valuations, which are done every 3 years. Okay. Any questions on that?
No,
Are
I
there
just,
any-
sorry, Martin?
No, it was John, Sandra. It's just
Oh.
a little hard for me to read. Are there any changes on the Coromandel one, Kate?
There are some changes. There's a bit of up and a bit of down, so it goes both ways. I think generally the land value has gone down a little bit and the capital value has increased. It's just on the residential that these changes have been updated.
Okay, thank you.
No problem.
Yeah, the farming, horticulture, and rural properties have all consistently gone up.
Yeah.
Much more in excess of the urbans. Just thought I'd point that out there.
Okay.
And they probably get the least amount of services.
All right.
Right.
I will now run through the consultation document. Just zoom out so you can see the cover page in one hit. So most of the wording is similar to what you've got in your agendas. This is just what it looks like formatted up. Real focus on the harbour facilities fees and charges.
That's
We've
good
got-
because everybody knows the huge demand for those. It's growing exponentially.
Yes. And we've got a clear map now which shows the existing ramps we were charging for and the 3 additional that we're proposing to introduce to put charges at.
And I've just been told that I might have to use a boat instead of being able to use the road. Hey, John.
And we now have some graphs showing how it impacts that funding mix on ratepayers versus and fees. And then we've got the section.
So do you have a PDF version without all the photos? Because
Only the plain Word version which we've sent, which is part of the agenda.
yeah. Okay, that's all right. I'm just thinking about having the public having access to that because if they want
PDF,
to print,
yeah. All right. Yeah, we can.
if
The
the public
PDF
want to print it
version.
off.
Yeah, anybody could. We're happy to print copies off if anybody calls into a library or a service centre. But yes, if they're printing it off, the best bet would be to do it in black and white. But I can ask our comms team about whether we want to do easily do a stripped back version which doesn't waste too much ink.
That would be great.
Yeah.
I think that's important actually for all our documents so that they do have an option.
Yeah.
Because I know I don't like printing everything, printing lots and lots of photos off. I don't need, when I'm only after the words.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, it's a good point.
Okay, no, that's fine.
With Matarangi, we now have the map included. I think that's the main changes. Most of the text is very similar to what you've read. So any questions on that?
Just around the valuation for Matarangi.
Ooh. Is somebody in the finance, is Hayden about? Are you able to answer or respond?
Yeah, I'm here. In terms of the valuation, I think it would probably be Alan.
Okay.
Your worship, it's Alan here. I'm online. That valuation is in the process of being commissioned and it will be available way before the deliberations meeting occurs.
All right, great. Thank you. Just making sure we've tidied off everything that we're required to do. Okay, any other questions of anybody? Of Katie? Of Kate, sorry.
Yeah, my question is in regard to the valuations. Critical, or at least I want to have my eyes over that because some of us well remember the Whitiaga Sports Complex, and we were rorted because the valuation wasn't fit for purpose. So I'm just very mindful that we need to understand what we're valuing. So, but I'll wait till that happens.
Thank you. Any other questions? Well, Tony, can I suggest that you maybe have a chat with Rex about that?
Yeah, I think it's a case of are we valuing it as bare land, or are we valuing it as developmental land? How are we valuing it? Because what happened for us at the sports complex, it was residential, but it was a swamp. So we actually paid probably 20 times more than we should have for it, because I just don't want to see the same thing happen again. That's all.
So we would be purchasing it as covenanted land, as covenanted open space. So it should be valued on that basis. Murray.
I think what Tony's getting at, and we're well over it, the sports ground was valued on a residential basis, and it was a phony valuation. We well covered it. I think this is open space, which is going to be valued at that. I think when we come through, we'll be good as gold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it ticks off a box that we need to do.
But
yeah.
Tony and I are very, very mindful of a number of occasions, particularly in our ward, where we have land that is valued as rural or open space and actually gets valued for other purposes as residential. So we as a council pay too much for it. And it's happened at the sports ground, happened at the airfield.
Well, I've already raised that issue with Rex, like right from the get-go.
Yep.
So
we know all about it.
To make sure that the premise was correct. So, okay, we're all good there. So, any other matters? Nobody else wants to. Oh, sorry, Rex. You got your hand up, Rex.
just to reinforce both what Tony, Murray, and yourself are saying, Sandra. It was a conversation that I had with the other member, or with Bruce, as well as Alan, at the last meeting when it was first raised. And Alan's working with John and developing that scope, which obviously Tony, Murray, you'll continue to be involved with, but both in terms of the development of, but also understanding when that exercise takes place. So, yeah, I mean, as you've all said, it's well in hand, and we're very conscious of making sure the scope for the valuation is appropriate for what the purpose of the land is to be used for.
Okay, good. Thank you. Right.
I think, Rex, it's fair to say there's a different reason for the valuation this time, so we're quite confident.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sandra, I just had a question as well. I got my hand up. No, it was just to say thanks, Kate, for making it beautiful. It was very comprehensive as it was. Presumably, those documents that you've tabled here, that you've shown us on the screen, you'll be emailing that to us.
Yes, and we'll also be emailing and contacting our networks, and obviously it's all going to be online as from Friday.
Yep. Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Sorry, Tony, Murray, could you take over for a minute, please? Sorry, Murray, I've got to take this call. Sorry. Sorry, I'm just
unmute that. You hear me now?
Yeah,
Any
we
other
can hear
questions
you.
of Kate? No, everyone's happy? I haven't got the recommendation right in front of me because I'm watching this.
Would you like me to share it, Murray?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Sorry, what was that?
I will share it.
It'll come up on the big screen, Murray.
Thank you. Thank you.
Murray's going to share her screen.
Okay, can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Great.
Thank you.
Is everyone happy with the resolution?
Yep, I'm even happy to move that we receive it. Are we doing it one by one, Murray, or are we going to?
Yep, is that Robin?
Yeah, that's Robin, sorry.
Moved Robin, seconded.
I'll second it, Murray.
Second it.
Okay, seconded Tony. Any further discussion? All in favour, please say aye.
Sorry, are we?
Aye.
Sorry, are we doing it all as one lot?
We're doing it one lot. Is that fine? Are you happy with that?
Yeah.
Well, resolution 2 actually says, each approval decline each of these particular things, and there are 7 things there. So presumably we need to either approve each one or decline each one, or some sort of combination thereof.
Well, that's why I asked if everyone was happy with approving the lot. You're not happy with approving the lot?
No. Well, I think we should have some discussion about it because I'm happy.
Sorry,
to...
Robin, I misread you. What?
No, that's it was a communication error from both parts, I'm sure. No, because my discussion on this bit was the future planning of Whangamata, point number 5. I just note that in the report that was in this report, and I went back and read the report that was given to the community board and listened to the community board meeting about that. And I think at this point we should be declining that, but approving all the others. And so that's what I would like to move.
Well, bear in mind, we're only talking about a consultation document. We go into deliberations afterwards. So this is just going up for consultation.
Okay.
Just to follow up on that point, if this on page 5, and I'm interested in your response, Terry, or Rex's, I'm not saying you shouldn't have it, but if the staff can't do it because of a lack of resource, are we allowed to rate for something that the management's saying they can't actually do? And if a consultant needs to do it, is 50,000 enough, or do your ratepayers have to also pay for the increased costs? So that was my thinking, not that you can't necessarily have it or that it's necessary, but where is the resource if the management's saying they haven't got it?
Sally, are we getting into deliberations now rather than consultation?
Well, is it enough? That's what I'm saying. If the staff have already said that they haven't got the resource to do it, is it fair to ask the Whangamata for 50 if they might need 70?
Through you,
Can I speak?
Yeah, Terry, you go.
Yeah, so the $50,000 will get us to a stage where we've got people within town who's providing expertise to it, similar to what the council would have provided in terms of planners. We feel this is the start that we need to do, and it will give us the enough money to produce something in terms of a zoning or land identification going forward as we move into the next long-term plan when we would look to expand that role. So we're comfortable that we've got the people around us to do it, and we won't be calling on staff time that they can't provide. So we're quite happy to take this forward.
Okay.
I would presume though, Terry, to make sure that you've got something that is useful to council to work off for that extra housing area that you seek, that there is some a little bit of oversight of what is required from council, so we get a document that's useful.
Yeah, absolutely, yep.
Right, Rex, and then Tony.
Just got to reinforce what Terry said, and subsequent to the Whangamata Community Board meeting, I know Leslie and her staff have put further work into this, and this reinforces, I think, what you're saying, Sally, and there will be alignment, and Leslie has committed to ensuring, if this goes through this process, through the annual plan process, to be supporting this piece of work internally as well as with those external agencies that Terry's talking about. So there's been a bit more happen since this report was written.
Cool.
And if you are looking at it, be mindful of the SMP.
Yes.
And the work within that, so that if you're looking at future housing, you're looking at it with a view to being much more in a much more resilient area and not low-lying.
Absolutely, yep.
Oh, no, that's great. Okay. So is any other questions?
Other than my comment, I'm very supportive of it. It's a Whangamata issue, a Whangamata rate. Me subscribing to the community empowerment model, I fully support it, and anything that is finding land, suitable land, upon which to build houses, I think is to be commended. And we know those people that haven't put the effort into that for one reason or another and struggle. So I'm very supportive of it, and with that, I'm happy to still have my name as the seconder to the motion.
Thank you.
Right, so everybody's good. Okay. So I'll put the resolution. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. Well done, people, and well done to staff. You know, there's been an inordinate amount of work on that, especially with some of the late items and some of the items that have been particularly flagged to the public. So thank you, everybody, to Rex, you and your team. Really appreciate it. Kate, thank you.
Thank you.
And to Hayden and Donna, thank you as well. Okay, so now we're on to public excluded. Do we need to do the extra item in public excluded?
Through the chair, yes, we do. That was the advice I was given from Paul.
Okay, that's great. Okay, then can I have a mover for public excluded, please?
So move.
Thank you, Terry. Second, Martin. All those in favour, please say aye.
Aye.
Against? Carried. So I think we'll take the